Welcome back, guys, and I'm so excited to talk to you about the Absolute Flash today. Initially, when I saw Jeff Lemire was tagged to pen this, I was really excited. As people who know me would know, I'm a huge Jeff Lemire fanboy. He's done some of my favorite comics, such as his run on Moon Knight and Black Hammer, which I absolutely have to cover. It's really good indie stuff. Anyway, some of the details that were dropped before the comic had me skeptical though. As more information came out about it, I became less skeptical and more invested in this universe. There is no Flash family here, and Wally, my glorious king, is all alone. And the story will focus on him being alone for the most part, which I find very interesting considering the Flash is a very community type character. So there's no Flash family here, there's no Speed Force here, so everything is just Wally being alone. And regardless of incarnation too, because there's still the image of the Flash running, there's a still image of the Flash running, and it has like several echoes of people which seem to possess him, which kind of gives it like a horror aesthetic, kind of like he's being haunted by voices, which fits into the final book, considering what happens there. Another detail is while Barry Allen is in the story, apparently Barry won't be the Flash. There is no previous incarnation of the Flash. Wally is going to be the first and only Flash here. When the design was fully leaked, I was fully on board with it, and it looks like a modern design of the Flash, and it has all the impractical / practical bells and whistles. Let me explain what I mean by that. In a visual and fantastical medium such as comics, I personally do not like the direction of everything being realistic or practical. Sometimes I need them capes, I need them in practical costumes, I need somebody to have like a lightning bolt thrown across their body. I need the costumes to look like they are very difficult to take off. You know, that sort of thing. Like, you can look at his sneakers now, very practical, this thing. Then you now have the jacket on top of the suit, and it just looks kind of tacky, but I really like it. It's a very solid design. Our story begins with Wally essentially running in the desert, crashing out as a bit of distortion happens around him, wondering what he had done. Clearly running from something, as we get treated to the title of the story, The Flash of Two Worlds, which is absolutely brilliant because of, if my intuition is correct, we might be onto something great. For those who aren't aware, The Flash of Two Worlds is the first time the concept of the multiverse was officially introduced in DC comics, and dare I say it, even comic books in general. And this is the first time Jay Garrick and Barry Allen encounter each other, kind of established as an Earth 1 and Earth 2. It's an entire thing. With the events that happen later on in the book, I can't see, or I hope to see, what Jeff Lemire is cooking. As Wally tries to slow himself down, he remembers how he got into this mess to begin with, as the story takes us back 2 days before the first panel. We are introduced to Wally as a character, and he's just this loner kid who is implied to have anxiety, and this was something his mother would help him manage and control. But like he says, his mother is gone now and it's just him. Making his way back home, he approaches a military base, which is home, as the military police try to give him trouble for wandering off base and clearing him that his dad will be upset if he catches him. And in comes Barry Elenu, who is a scientist who works for the military here. He is essentially a father figure to Wally, which is really wholesome in their conversation. We learn that Wally is an army brat whose father moves from place to place, never really settling down roots, hence why he feels disconnected to everything and everyone around him. Barry asks to show him something really cool to cheer him up, as he takes him below the military base, and Barry wants to take Wally under his wing, as he has read his file and he's a bright kid and he could do some part-time work. Wally's interested, but he knows his dad won't let him, and the work Barry shows him is classified anyway. And from the work that we see, it's clearly something that is inspired by the cosmic treadmill, which is what Barry used to travel through time in the original Flash comics. Barry insists that he says he's going to explain it to his dad, and he shows that Wally's dad would understand, only for the main man himself to interject that, I'm not understanding anything, And Wally's dad is pissed that Wally was caught sneaking in. Them gods be snitching. Wally defends himself, as he only went for a walk and lost track of time, not like he's out there gallivanting around town. His father Rudy insists that he's busy gallivanting around with his friends, and Wally retorts, "What friends do I have? We just moved here." He doesn't know anyone here, and Barry tries to interject, showing that he just wanted to show him something cool and, some compassion, as Wally's probably bored out of his mind. Rudy tells him to shut up and mind his business, and he tells Wally to go home. Our story shifts forward in time again to the present, back to the desert, where Wally sits brooding and regretting a bunch of stuff. When off ahead in the distance, he notices an armored crawler coming towards him. He immediately takes off when he sees a flying boomerang coming towards him, and it's revealed that the people chasing him are the absolute versions of the rogues. And I'm not gonna lie, they are looking
nice.
Bro, look at Captain Cold, man. Bro legit looks so cold here. I like his design way more than the classic Snart one, and he's clearly the leader here, and rather than a bunch of super criminals, they appear to be a military unit hunting down Wally, and they split up as Wally runs deeper into the cave, wondering if his father had sent them after him. Undergoing another mental attack, we shift back again a day before the events that are occurring currently. And Rudy walks into a room to approach his son and tries to have a heartfelt conversation with him. He apologizes for his outburst and states his worry about Wally is he wants Wally beside him to keep him safe. Wally doesn't see it that way though. He's tired of constantly moving and being alone and neglected, and he mentions at least Barry shows interest in him and sees his potential rather than keep him locked up in a room somewhere. And Rudy gets upset and says he's not allowed to speak to Barry anymore. And Wally sarcastically agrees with his salute, "Sir, yes sir," before hitting him with a gut punch. If Mom were alive, they would have left him a long time ago, which I gotta say, is a bit dickish, but hey, Wally's an emotional teenager who wants attention from his almost absentee father, so I get it. Wally leaves the house as a storm is approaching. And heads to the lab looking for Barry. A bunch of monkeys that he saw earlier that look a bit mutated begin to screech as he runs deeper into the lab, stumbling into the project from earlier, and Barry is in it as it's active. And as he sees Wally is there, he tells him to get out and calls him son even. Now, the subtlety of this is like a brick to the head, but you know what? I like it. I'm a sentimental fool like that. Then we get taken back to the present where Snart and Boomerang are still chasing Wally, and the banter between the rogues is really good. They roast Harkness, aka Captain Boomerang. Anyway, we get more info with Wally as he runs deeper into the cave, blaming himself for an accident. He knows what he did as tears fall down his face as we see the dead body of Barry Allen. Oof. This panel is heavy. I know this is kind of late to do this, but I gotta give props to the artist who illustrated this comic, man. Nick Robles, bravo, man, bravo. The coloring was also done by Adriano Lucas, but man, this comic is so pretty to look at, and the use of colors is just immaculate. At the end, we flash forwards a year later to the lab where the accident took place as Mirror Master steps out of a reflective surface as he seems to be spying on Wally and also showing us some of the events that will occur in a year time in this 1 year timescape, such as the monkeys taking vengeance for Harambe as they should. Nothing has been the same since our glorious king Harambe died. Rest in peace, my king, rest in peace. This is a fantastic first issue, and Jeff Lemire is a master of non-linear storytelling, which I quite enjoyed in this book. And it's definitely my second favorite Absolute book, right behind Wonder Woman. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you like the first issue of Absolute Flash? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below, and good luck.